Our next exciting talk is about transformation of iconic cultural landmarks through the power of augmented reality. And we have Arman Atoyan, Chief Wizard of ARLOOPA. And we have Yunuene, artist and creator. Please give them a warm welcome applause. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. We didn't get the big crowd here. Probably the culture is not captures the interest of many, but anyway, thank you for coming. Today we're going to speak about one use case that we've been working last year on how we transform the cultural experience of visiting the famous landmark in a Hamburg city. So just like a brief story before going forward. We've been approached by the agency from the Singapore to create a unique experience for the owner. It's a Chinese mobile device manufacturer in order to showcase their new device, and they pick up the historical landmark to make it alive. Personally, I believe more that the metaverse is going beyond of the virtual reality, let's say. I believe it's going to be extended, not just be in our glasses where we are visiting into the virtual spaces, but we're going to also see the digital content all around us in a physical world, and it's going to be enhanced by these digital experiences. So the first time when the agency approached us, they've been asking us, have you ever done anything with the physical buildings? Like, have you ever created the experiences that are augmenting the physical spaces? And we've been already working on that. They didn't mention like even who is the client. They said we have a client that is interested in this type of project. We need some proof of work in order to showcase. So our team quickly created a demo on Opera House in Yerevan, and we sent it as a proof of work. So they understood that we are capable to do this. And then they disclose all the details. They say the building is going to be in the city of the Hamburg, and this beautiful city has this beautiful landmark that you have to augment. If anyone here has the technical background, they can understand that it's quite challenging to have the augmented reality experiences happening on a reflective surface where is the river going on. And another challenge is the river changed the position. During a day, 2 times, the water goes down and comes up. So we understood that it's going to be quite a tough thing to do. And we went forward and started to build this. But before that, I just want to give you the visually how this looks like, so then we can discuss the details. And my colleague Yunuene will give you more information about the art side of the thing, the creative side of the thing. Sorry, at the beginning, I forget to introduce Yunuene.
We're stepping into the era of the metaverse, where the physical and the digital space collide to create amazing, immersive experiences. For me, as a visual artist, technological advancements in AI and AR have created more possibilities for artistic expression. It's so great to see Honor investing in AI and AR technologies, which have the ability to transform public spaces, allowing physical locations to come to life in exciting ways. I'm really inspired by nature, and through the power of technology, our communities can marvel at the wonder of our natural planet.
The area has come so far over the years. I can't wait to see.
So the challenge to overlay this building, which is located in the Hamburg city, and our team is based in Armenia. So in the contract, we of course had the point that we're gonna go to scan the building, and of course we're gonna go and test on the site when everything is finished and everything is delivered. But then during the process, we understood that this is not a one-time thing. Like you have to go to scan and then to adjust. Maybe you need to work and edit on the spatial maps. And we started to look to someone who can actually augment us being there in Hamburg. We started quickly to reach out different agencies in Germany who has the capabilities to do the photogrammetry, 3D scanning, or creating the VPS maps. And luckily, we find the guy, whose name is Uwe, who lives like a next building, and he has the studio for the photogrammetry. So every morning when he was going to the work, he was just like creating kind of like a test video for us to see where we are, like what's the issues we have, so we can edit and improve. So we did like a couple of times those scannings, and finally we get the right maps to work. This on the left side, you can see the actual photogrammetry of the building, and you can see also the spatial maps. Another thing that we've been sort of concerned is the position where the person is going to look at the building at the beginning, because the bridge that you are staying and viewing the building is quite far, and that was one of the concerns that also we had. We used all the side buildings as additional landmarks, and in the experience, we showed how the user should start the experience, so they are moving left to right or right to left, so we can see the old side buildings, and those landmarks could be utilized in the experience. On the right side, you can see the experience, the 3D, that Yunuene will give more information on this part and share. So how the experience happened at the end? We've been understanding that not everyone can get to the Hamburg to see this experience live, even it has like even better feeling, but we also located it in our app so everyone can see this experience in the surface. Of course, it's not the same, but still we try to make it more accessible, that everyone can see the details and can be able to experience this. Now I will pass to Yunuene to tell more about the creative process. Yunuene?
Thank you, Arman. Hello, everyone. Well, first of all, I am a mixed media artist, and I love to tell stories through all my artwork. And this case, of course, there was no exception. What sets me apart from many other AR artists is that I am primarily a traditional artist. I use traditional mediums to create my artwork, and then with the help of technology, I enhance my message through digitally. I do mostly oil paintings, but I also do sculptures and other things. Every time I have a new project, I always start, obviously, with research. I always look for all kind of information available, all data of the theme. In this case, about Hamburg. So I investigated how was its history, its culture, traditions, people, I mean, everything. And then I selected the most interesting topics, and I chose its naval mercantile history. Why? Because I didn't know that Hamburg was known as gateway to the world, because it's such a very important port in Europe. It's the second largest port, and all the items from Asia and later America arrive there, from cotton to coffee to tea, spices, textiles, and everything. My goal in this AR experience was to narrate in 35 seconds the evolution of the city, how it was transformed from a small port to a big, marvelous, grandiose metropole. And I did it by showing the evolution of its ships in the last 800 years. And for this, I started, obviously, with a wooden ship, followed by a steel steamship, and ending with a modern and gigantic container ship full of computers and modern technology. This way, I took the opportunity not to narrate only the development of a trade port, but also the evolution of the naval engineering. As I already mentioned you, I am a traditional painter, and most of my works are all paintings on canvas. So it's very important for me to always maintain that kind of feeling of traditional art in each of my digital works, like the colors and the textures. For this project, I created a concept of vintage toys sculpted in wood, and hand-painted with my style. The goal was to offer a magical, a romantic, and a fantastic experience to the viewer. Well, first, I acquired the geometries of the character and ships in different media services, and then I unified all the styles in the models. I made the animation in Blender, and I used real textures from my paintings, and with the help of Substance Painter, I gave them a wooden finish with scratches, chips, faded colors, and other details to make them look as real as possible. Initially, I planned on using the typical Spanish caravel with 3 sails, as this image was born in my mind since I was a kid. But then after consulting with the agency in Germany, they told me that we really should use the Koge ship, as this ship was the most important that were used during that time in the Northern Europe. And this was my final adaptation of that wonderful ship. The costumes of the characters were also very important for me. I wanted to make sure they were authentic for their time. I really didn't want them to look like poorly dressed time travelers. So I also paid attention to the ship models and how they were painted to ensure their historical accuracy. Of course, a funny story, the first flag I used for the Koge ship was from Elbings. Elbings is the neighboring town of Hamburg. They really look all the same for me, so I just used that one. And when the agency saw it, they were like, oh, no, please, you have to change the flag because we don't want to hurt Hamburg's people's feelings. So, we just changed it. One important thing in this kind of project is to make everything look as real as possible in the scenario. I know it's unrealistic to see a mega ship just appearing from the walls of the buildings, or having dolphins flying around you, or seeing fishes popping up of bubbles, or even a big flying whale giving you a beautiful kiss. But I had to try it. And how I did it, I did it by using details such as reflections on the water, delicate ripples while sailing, projected shadows in ships, and using the actual walls of the building as part of the animation. Finally, after much experimentation, we ended up using a vertex shader with simplified geometry and textures. Then we gave it a little textures, and that way we create like a magic reflection in the water. And then finally, and most importantly, I added the audio effects to complement the story. This way, the experience was complete and allowed the digital part to be as integrated as possible in the real environment.
Embark on your next adventure.
Now for the challenges, of course there were a lot of major challenges. I mean, it was a very, very complex project. For instance, production times. There's never, ever going to be enough time in this kind of medium. Also, we had some restrictions, such as the maximum number of polygons to use, and we had to add a lot of elements in the scene. And another big challenge was not being able to do on-site testings to check the real colors and the real perspective that I should use. So I just only have to trust Armand's teams to guide me on this. But in hindsight, really, I believe that the final result was a unique and fun AR experience for the viewers, and I'm very happy with the result. So back to you, Armand.
Thank you. Why we think this is particularly important to start thinking of such concepts to augment the physical buildings and cultural heritages, because the Generation Z they demand more interactive experiences. We know that they want to things start happen. And if we are doing something like this, it captivates their attention. They are starting to engage with this type of content, and they are starting to share it with their peers that they discovered something magical or something interesting. I want to just share more about this particular slide. When we started conversation with the agency, and they said they already have the artists who are going to work on the content side, and we are the platform, the experience should be hosted in the ARLOOPA. We said okay, but those artists did anything before in augmented reality space, because they can create, sometimes we see the artists are creating super beautiful stuff, but it's not AR compatible, so the mobile devices cannot handle that. And when they set up the call, we met the Yunuene, we said this experience is going to be in the augmented reality. She said, yeah, of course, we have done many of such apps. We said, yes. The second artist, however, said, what's the Unity, guys? And we said, okay, we are going to be in the trouble. But all was great. We worked, we did a lot of back and forth. We optimized the experience, the other one, and that was meeting our criteria, because it won't be offline experience, and we want users to experience it as quick as possible, so the loading time wouldn't be too long. Regarding to importance and the immersive engagement and accessibility, as we know, such experiences are enhancing the visitor experience, because once they are in the field, they can learn more, they can get some interactive connection with the landmark. We believe it helps to preserve cultural heritage, because we can do these storytelling experiences on those sites and give the more depth, we can give the new layers. And of course, that helps also for the promotion of the tourism, that the government can rely on such experiences and make more popularize those sites. Those numbers are brought to us by the BCW, which was the global agency behind of the campaign. You can check the media coverage. It was 2,000 plus media press that covered about this experience happening in Europe more than 2,000 times. We can see the number of experiences with 15,000 times experience being viewed, which is a pretty good number. Our app has 6 million organic install base, and this is why also Honor preferred to host this experience in our ARLOOPA app instead of creating another app and putting on the store. I believe this is it. We left another 5-6 minutes for the questions. If you have any, we'll be happy to answer. You can address it to me, if it's a technical wise or the AR related, or if it's art related or creative related, you can address to Yunuene. Thank you very much.
Questions? No?
No.
Thank you so much, Arman and Yunuene. And that's it for before the lunch. Everyone, please come back at 1:05, where we will be talking about gamifying the world, evolving experiences in the mixed worlds. Please give a round of applause for our amazing speakers, and we'll see you after lunch.